I want to talk about the Dunning-Kruger effect. And so, this is you can read about this online. You can read about a lot more, but this is I don't know if it's scientifically proven, but I do believe there's
It's a
some science
phenomenon
behind
that's
this.
pretty
Yes, it's a well-documented phenomenon.
pretty easy to see and
Yes,
put a name to.
that happens with humans as they learn and are exposed to new information. So, I didn't make this chart. So this is a typical chart you can find online about Dunning-Kruger. And Mount Stupid is actually part of the Dunning-Kruger, um,
Yep.
the written documentation about it. But basically, we see this Dunning-Kruger effect play out in a lot of areas of society. But specifically, I want to talk about how we see it play out in the Volkswagen Audi community, and we see this play out in forums and on groups all the time. So you have someone who buys a car, they own it for 6 months, they spend some time reading, and to their credit, they gain a tremendous amount of knowledge. I mean, if at Christmas you start talking to your family members and cousins about half the stuff you talk about on the forums, nobody will have any idea what you're talking about. So, in that sense, you are extremely knowledgeable compared to the average person.
Yeah.
But you got to watch out for the initial surge of confidence you get from that learning, and to realize that without the experience and time, that you may be weighing your expertise more than is reality. So I would say, for Nate and I, who've been doing this for 20 years, we're somewhere on that stage of enlightenment curve. I definitely hit the peak of Mount Stupid, I would say probably in 1998, 99, where I really started getting into some of the email list, the Quattro list, and I started soaking up information for 6 months to a year, and I thought I was like a world-renowned expert.
Yep.
And I certainly acted that way in the groups. And my first job out of college was at Eurospec Sport, or Overland Parts, which is unfortunately now defunct.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I realized I didn't know shit. There was an old ex-Audi Sport mechanic that worked there, and the guy would just spit knowledge, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And I had to somehow reconcile that with the persona that I had built online, where I was this huge expert. And then a moment later, I'm standing in front of this guy and I have no idea what he's talking about. So I quickly fell into the valley of
Despair.
feeling that I actually didn't know anything, and I had wasted so much time, and all the things that I thought I knew, I didn't really know anything. And so thankfully, I worked there for a couple of years, and this mechanic's name was Dave Weems, and I learned a tremendous amount from him. I learned a lot from other people. I continued learning and researching online, which ultimately, that knowledge and experience led me to start 034 Motorsport, to create one of the first standalone EFI systems for 5 cylinders, and all the amazing things that have brought 034 Motorsport here to this day. But, constantly here at 034 Motorsport, we're realizing, we are not, at the plateau of what is it, sustainability?
Oh yeah. The plateau of sustainability.
Yeah. We are still learning. We are still making mistakes. Sometimes you guys see us release product updates, or we've done recalls, a number of recalls in the past. So we haven't done one recently, thankfully, but
We try not to.
and we don't always get everything right, So we're still learning, but you're talking about the team here at 034 has combined 100, 200 years of experience and knowledge, and we're still learning. So this is just something to keep in mind when you're interacting with people, that they think they know everything. To help guide them and realize that they may be at the not to call them stupid, but to understand that they may actually have a lot more confidence than their knowledge would dictate. And at that point, rationally explaining concepts and technical conceppts,
Yeah.
Referencing proven, documented
And I think
science and information.
One easy way to kind of filter this out in your online world is if someone's replying to either a technical or a pretty nuanced question with like no possibility that there's anything else out there that could be the answer. They're just telling you this is how it is. they're probably near the peak of Mount Stupid. There's always some nuanced answer or some qualifications that need to be given to an answer. So if you just get this, they think they hit the nail on the head. That's your only answer. It's the only way it could be. Everyone else is stupid if they don't answer this way. They're probably the ones in the peak of Mount Stupid. It's generally the peak plateau of sustainability also comes with some humility and some understanding that you probably don't know enough. Or there's more to know.
I mean, if you read, some of Einstein's later stuff, he's not confident on how much he knows about the universe. In fact, he's pretty adamant that he knows almost nothing, and that's probably the person who up to that point understood it more than any human who had ever lived. Then the other thing is sometimes you have two people on one side of Mount Stupid or the other,
Right.
and they're arguing with each other. So Mount Stupid is a pretty I wouldn't have called it that because I think it encourages people to
it's pretty
to lob criticism at each other.
inflammatory.
Yeah, it's very inflammatory. But the Dunning-Kruger curve is something to really take notes, and as something that I hope more people in the community will think about as they post and interact with others. So, anyways, thanks for letting us take that tangent. So,
that trip across the mountains.